Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the School of Humanities panel session. I am Anne Nicole, the SOH Student Club President, and I will be your MC and moderator for this session. Now, before we proceed, I would like to remind participants who have yet to change your display name to kindly change it to your full name. You can do so by following these simple steps on the screen. Okay, so next we have a few house rules set for this virtual session. Please spend some time to read through them. Without further ado, let me introduce today's lineup. Panelists, please remember to wave and give your widest smile when I call upon your name. Okay, so first of all, we have Associate Professor Andres Luco, Associate Chair, Academics. Next, we have Mr. Ati Zuhaili, SOH Alumni, Year 3 English Major Student. And finally, we have Ms. Bernadette Chong, Year 3 Linguistics and Multilingual Studies Major Student. Hi everyone. Now we have received many questions that are sent to us during the registration period. Thank you very much for your enthusiastic participation and sending all the questions in. And before we proceed to address your questions, let us invite the panelists to give a very brief introduction of themselves. Okay, so can we start with Prof. Luco?
Thanks, Anne. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm very happy to represent my school, the School of Humanities, in explaining to you everything that we have to offer here. And just about a little bit about myself. I'm a philosopher by training. I was hired 10 years ago, almost, to help found a new program in philosophy. And since then, we've built up philosophy into a thriving undergraduate and graduate program. Then last year, I was privileged to take on the role of associate chair for undergraduate education for the whole school. And now I'm a part of efforts to advance the School of Humanities here at NTU. And every year, it just keeps getting better. We have more programs to offer. We have amazing new faculty coming in. We have amazing students who have incredible achievements. So it's been quite a ride, and I I'm so excited to see new faces joining us in the coming August term. So welcome, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you so much, Prof. Luco. Shall we move on to Adi?
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Andres Luco. I am a year 3 English student, and I'm basically here to share with you guys my exchange experience throughout my university journey. So when I was in year 2, semester 2, I had my university exchange, in London, United Kingdom, and I attended school at Queen Mary University of London for the semester. And it was really, honestly, the most amazing experience that I've had in my entire life. And I'm pretty sure all of you prospective students who would like to enter university, one of your main goals and like one objectives is to go for exchange, right? Yeah, so when I was in London, I took a myriad of different modules that you can course match from the School of Humanities in NTU as well. And some of the modules I took ranges from this module called London and its museums, all the way to witches and witchcraft in the medieval century, which was really interesting. And I really had a time of my life. The values, the friends I've made overseas, like really changed who I am and really made me grow as a person. And I'm really excited for all of you prospective students to actually experience what I've experienced, because it's really one of a kind. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Adli. Let's move on to Bernadette.
Sure, thanks, Anne Nicole. Hi, everybody. My name is Bernadette, and like Anne Nicole has introduced me, I'm a third-year linguistics major here in NTU. And today I'll be just sharing, just specifying my internship experience that I've recently done with the National Youth Council's Asia Exposure Program. So I think, I guess with my sharing of internship experience, I hope to show you guys as prospective humanity undergrads that, hey, you know, your degree is very relevant to this real world and there are many opportunities out there for you. And while internship is part of the adulting process, it can be fun too, and it can be very relevant to what you are interested in and what you plan to study. Yeah, thanks, Anne Nicole.
Thank you so much, Bernadette, for sharing, and thank you everyone for your introduction. And as you can tell, if you are in the Zoom session, there's a lot of topics that we are going to cover today, and it's going to be very insightful. So do stay tuned for everybody's input and any questions that you have. We'll try our best to answer. Okay. And of course, we also do welcome more questions. If you would have any, please raise them, and you can send them in via the Zoom's chat box, okay? And you can also click on the raise hand button, and when I call out your name, please unmute yourself and switch on your camera to ask your questions. And for participants who are viewing this session from the open house microsites, you can also send in your questions to us via Slido. Now let's start the Q&A session with our very first one to start, and that is why is there a need for NTU to have this new interdisciplinary and collaborative core undergraduate curriculum, and how is it beneficial? I believe Prof. Luco would be the best in terms of answering this question.
Sure, and Nicole, I'll speak to that. Thanks. So why is there a need for the new interdisciplinary and collaborative core curriculum? It's a good question. This is a new curriculum that NTU will be launching in August of this year. And the need is that we need to train students to thrive in a world that is characterized by uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. As we saw with the recent pandemic, things that we don't expect can happen, and we have to adapt quickly. And in order to adapt, you need to develop a broad variety of skills and cultivate a wide range of knowledge. And that is exactly what the ICC curriculum is designed to give our students. We have courses in the curriculum that span many different disciplines and train students in many different types of skills. We have courses in digital information and society, courses in ethics, courses in environmental sustainability. And we believe that students who take these courses will not only have a memorable experience, but will also be able to better adapt to an ever-changing and complex world.
Thank you so much, Prof. Luco. Now let's move on to number two, our question two. and that is, what are readings and writing assignments like in general? Okay, so can we have maybe Ali to start sharing your opinion?
Okay, sure. So what are readings and assignments and writing assignments like in general? I mean, I feel that there's this stigma and that is this stereotype where humanities degree, and I'm pretty sure you guys and especially Bernadette can attest to that as well. So there's this stereotype where people think that a humanities degree, what it entails is only writing and lots of hundreds of pages of writing. I mean, I'm not going to deny that there's bound to be sort of writing for your like your midterms as well as like your final assignments for the semester. But what I really appreciate about the School of Humanities in NTU is that professors they really put in the effort to make content and more accessible for the students. For example, me being in an English major, I've always, we have to study text from like 15th century period, which doesn't actually, the language is not really relevant to us right now, but our professors put in the extra mile to make it more accessible. And how they do this is that they will integrate really creative assignments. For example, you get to create videos, films, photography projects, and a module like literature and medicine also encourages you to try and incorporate a lot of artistic and visual modes for your assignment, and this will add up to your final grade, which I find really interesting and really helpful for me as a student, because I feel that it's more relevant for me when I take the module. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Ali. You're from English, and I can attest to your opinion as well because I'm from English, so I fully agree with you. Now, of course, we have Bernadette, who is from LMS. So, what's your opinion on this? How are writing assignments like in general in LMS?
Wow, I think my experience maybe is a little more different because we don't really deal with, I guess, text in terms of stories like literature or, yeah, those very medieval era kind of text. But I think for me, as Ali was sharing, it kind of really summarized really nicely how the School of Humanities approached the idea of, assignments and assessments for us as university students. It's a very dynamic process with professors always coming up with new ways to really challenge our thinking and the way that we have acquired these knowledge that we have learned through readings and the lectures that we have gone through. Specifically for the linguistics department, I think for us it's really a stretching beyond the humanities realm, in a sense, the conventional humanities realm. I think as I was thinking about it, one of the most memorable, I guess, assignments for me was when I was taking this module called Language and the Brain. So we would think that as a linguistic student in humanities, we would be dealing with a lot of, I guess, language, how people learn their language, how people communicate. But I was very intrigued when my readings and my assignments were the ones that stretched me beyond, I guess, this realm to explore neuroscience actually. So a lot of my assignments and my readings were about how the brain works in different domains, such as music, gender, really, really diverse kind of domains in society that I guess people usually wouldn't associate neuroscience with linguistics. So I think that was something that's very interesting that, you get to explore even beyond the realms of just being arts through your assignments and the readings itself. So yeah, I guess School of Humanities has a very dynamic and a very, very, very unique and creative approach to, I guess, assessing and stretching the students beyond what the typical conventional arts route is.
Thank you so much for that, Bernadette. Now, let's move on to question 3, and that is, will I have an advantage if I apply to the degree program that I studied as a humanities subject for my A levels? Now, Prof. Luco, do you want to take on this question?
Sure, and Nicole. So the answer is maybe. If you studied a subject like English literature in your A levels and you did well in it, then of course you will take that knowledge with you if you are admitted into our program in English, for example. Of course, past learning will benefit you. But I would also emphasize that applying for a course that you didn't study in A levels or in polys is entirely open to you, and you are entirely able to succeed in such a program. So many students in JCs or polys, they don't take courses in, say, philosophy or linguistics. It's not something that's commonly taught at the secondary and post-secondary school levels. But of course, our students have background in related areas like humanities and social sciences, and they bring that knowledge with them. And even though they're studying a subject that's somewhat new to them, they still have the strengths that they've developed from their previous education in writing, in reading comprehension, in analysis. And these students who may not have taken the subject before, prior to coming to university, really have no problem excelling in their major. And of course, our linguistics and philosophy students, they go on and do great things, even though most of them didn't take linguistics or philosophy in JC or Poly.
Thank you, Prof. Luco. Now, how about Adli? What's your perspective on this?
I totally agree with Prof. Luco. Because I come from a junior college, right? My subject combination in JC was H2 English literature and H2 Malay literature. So that background was really, really prominent for me, and that was something which I was like always like ingrained because I had my passion for literature ever since I was young. But to add on and to complement Prof. Luco's perspective on whether or not you will have an advantage, for those who have a really strong humanities background in JC or tertiary education, that you will have a slight advantage. For example, for literature, if you are in English, obviously you will definitely carry over some information and knowledge regarding literary techniques as well as literary terms, etc. But for those of you who are more concerned about like, hey, I am from a science stream in junior college, like, will I still be able to apply for a humanities degree? I certainly feel that you can, and please do, because the School of Humanities doesn't exclude anyone from this. And in fact, what the School of Humanities really look for is the passion each of you has for the subject and the program. So your interest is what would drive you to, and motivate you to do well in any program in the School of Humanities. So yeah, that's why I feel like, don't be scared if you're not from a humanities stream, or if you haven't taken any humanities subject. Yeah.
Can I just add a little bit more to Adli's point? Yes, Adli is exactly right. Even if you don't have a humanities background, say you consider yourself stronger in the sciences or social sciences, actually that background can take you quite far in the humanities, because even though you're studying a subject that's not considered humanities, you are developing relevant skill sets, like being able to solve problems and being able to analyze information. So don't think that because you come from a heavier science background that you will be outcompeted somehow if you enter a humanities major. Actually, that's not what we find at all. And I should also mention that in all of our subjects in the humanities, we start from the bottom up. We start from the ground level. So we offer introductory core courses that don't assume any previous knowledge. All we assume is that you've been to JC or Poly and that you can read a text, that you have some basic quantitative skills. And honestly, if you have your diploma, if you have if you sat for your A-level examinations and you did well enough to be admitted, you're prepared. You can succeed here.
Beautifully said. Thank you very much, Prof. Luco and Adli. Now, on to the topic of JC, we have also received a question, and that is, are there classes in university just like in JC? Now, Adli, do you want to share?
Okay, so how, for the School of Humanities at least, how programs and like academics are structured is usually when you're in the first 2 years of university, classes tend to be more lecture and tutorial based, meaning that you have at least a 2-hour lecture on one day and then a tutorial on another, a 1-hour tutorial on another day to complement whatever you've learned and to dive deeper into what the professor has imparted in the lecture. So I feel that class scheduling wise is a little bit different from JC, but I would like to inform you that there's not a major difference, because in junior college, we are already used to the lecture style. We sit for economics lecture for 3 hours and we try and survive that, But we also have our smaller tutorial classes as well. So it's relatively similar, but the things that you learn is what really changes how you view things and how you absorb the knowledge, because in university, a lot of things that you've never learned before seems to be more interesting now that when you finally sit in the lecture theater and be like, oh my gosh, I'm in uni, this is what I'm going to learn. Yeah.
Thanks, Adli. How about Vern?
Wow. Okay. I guess for me, I would think that classes in university are slightly different in the sense that you do get a liberty and the ownership of your learning itself. So you definitely won't have a teacher scolding you when you're caught sleeping. But of course, please don't, because you're here to learn. And honestly, the things that are taught here in the humanities are really interesting. And to sleep is something that's very, very rare. Also, I guess with regards to whether classes in university are like JC, I really think it depends. And like what Adli said, there are some classes that are really like a lecture style. So there are more people in, let's say, an auditorium or a lecture theater. But I guess when you go up into the higher levels, like year 3 or year 4, where you take specific modules, what we call as major electives. So there are electives that are related to your major or your degree program. And of a higher level, let's say a level 3 or a level 4, they are usually of smaller classes, at least here for the linguistics department. So personally, my classes for those higher levels have been maybe 20 people at max. So discussions were really on the roll, because it's such a small class. That means that there are more discussions that can happen. There are more attention that can be shared within students. So it really depends on which level of classes you're talking about. Maybe to summarize, the year 1 and year 2 classes, especially if they're core modules, they tend to be bigger because that's what everybody's taking. And if you're going up to, let's say, a year 3 or year 4 module, then the classes might shrink so that students learn more specifically, and I guess more attention can be paid to these senior students as well. Yeah. Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks, Vern. Now, we've been talking about a lot of academic questions, addressing a lot of classes, experiences in university in terms of studies. And yeah, we are also received questions associating with CCAs. And yes, we have a lot of CCAs in NTU. So one question we have is, are CCAs compulsory and what can one gain from being in a CCA? So Vern, do you want to take this question?
Oh, sure. Wow. Okay. So I personally think I really enjoyed my time here because of the numerous CCAs that NTU's offers. Like, wow, when I first came in, there was really a lot of different CCAs and opportunities that are here in NTU. And to answer the question, CCAs aren't like, let's say in JC, where it's made compulsory that adds on to your graduation. CCAs here are optional. But I think speaking on the behalf of Ali and I, we do have quite a few CCAs on our own and we really enjoy them. So what we do, I guess encourage you guys is to explore the different CCAs, and because it's through these CCAs that you get to meet individuals from other schools, you learn different things from other individuals from really different discipline, and you start to realize that as a humanities major, you do differ from someone else from a different faculty, and that's when friendships are really being made. And I guess the friendship is also being formed in a very quirky and a very unique sense. Yeah, maybe Ali, would you like to add on anything to it?
Oh yeah, definitely. So as the as a freshman that I was back in year one, my eyes were lit up, and as what Bernadette said, there were literally a lot of CCAs that you guys can choose from. And when I was in because I have my dance background, I am in currently NTU MJ, like the university's dance club. And when I was in year two, I balanced this dance club with joining the SOH main management committee. So balancing two CCAs at that point of time was really heavy, but it was really memorable. And I totally agree with what Bernadette said. Like with the in university, you guys have the liberty to choose whatever you guys want to do. You can focus on your academics. You can complement it with your CCA. But both of us, we encourage you guys to definitely take up a CCA, because then you will finally have the whole university experience once you graduate. And the values and the friendships that you forge over your CCAs will definitely carry on throughout like later in life. And I really feel that for all the experiences and all the responsibilities I've been given and tasked during my CCA has really shaped me into the current student that I am right now. So yeah, join CCA. It would really help you enrich your whole university experience.
Thanks so much, Vern and Ati. Now let's move on to another question that I think a lot of people are very curious about, and that is concerning COVID-19 and how this is affecting exchange in general. So that, and on that note, this is the question: with this current pandemic situation, will there still be overseas exchange opportunities? Prof. Luco?
Sure, Anne Nicole. Yes, there will be. Due to international travel restrictions, of course, there are reduced slots for international exchange, and NTU's International Exchange Office is trying to adapt to this challenge by giving priority to students in their third and fourth years. And we're also allowing students in their fourth year to go on exchange, which is a departure from previous practice to ensure that they have the experience of going on overseas exchange. So this is how we are trying to cope with a difficult situation currently. Hopefully, a couple of years down the road, the new cohort will be able to go on international exchange without this disruption. But if for whatever reason, heaven forbid, we are still in the same difficult situation, we are doing our best to cope with it by giving priority to students who are a little bit later in their career to ensure that they have a chance to go on exchange.
Thank you so much, Prof. Luco. Now, I think among all of us here in the panel, I think Atli, you have gone on exchange before. Maybe you want to share a little bit about your experience?
Okay, so my exchange experience, like what I've said at the beginning of this panel, is I went to London, United Kingdom, and I studied at Queen Mary University of London. And most of the time when I was there, exchange has really opened my perspectives towards a whole new universe, a whole new world. Because like, you know, being in Singapore for the whole of my academic life, is like, you know, you go to school and then you go home and the friends that you meet are just there and you can get from one end to another end of Singapore within 1 hour. When me being in the United Kingdom, being in London, it has really opened my eyes as to not be afraid to explore like greater depths, or like have new perspectives and be more open to new ideas. And I've made I've made a lot of friends. I went to exchange on my own because I felt like that was the only way for me to really fully immerse myself and to really learn what I needed to learn overseas. But coming back to the elephant in the room about the pandemic situation, I was supposed to be there for a semester. However, my semester was cut short. I remember on the tragic day of March 20th, my friends and I were in Nice, in France, and we're having the time of our lives. And then I received the recall order from the Ministry of Education saying that we needed to be back in Singapore by the end of the week. So we had to fly back to London and we had to pack all of our essentials and left everything, bed sheets, pots and pans, crockery, all back. And we had, and flights were even chartered by Singapore Airlines to bring students from overseas back in Singapore, so that everyone will be more safe and will be with family, etc. And yeah, like that really put a painful stab in my heart. And like I learned a lot from it. Like a lot of my friends who went for an exchange, who got shot as well, whose exchange got cut short as well, also felt the exact same way. But you know, in times like this, in a pandemic like this, we all have to prioritize what's most important. And during that point of time last year in March was when the pandemic was the most like in a crisis moment. So being back, I was really grateful to be back in Singapore actually. And like what Prof really mentioned, like the school is really pushing for you guys of the future cohort to go overseas again, and hopefully, really hopefully you guys will have the experience that I had, even though mine was cut short. But the values and the things that I've learned and see is really memorable, and I will never deny that. I would do it all over again if possible. Thanks.
Oh, thank you so much for that story, Adli. I'm so sorry that your experience got cut short, but at least you had that exchange experience. And of course, in view of the COVID situation, I think a lot of people are also very curious about classes, whether they are more virtual or physical classes. And yes, so someone asked, what is the estimate of the quantity of lessons online versus physical lessons? Prof. Luco?
Sure, and Nicole. The estimate is, well, hard to put precisely. I don't have the numbers available to me right now, but let me just say that every effort is being made to move classes face to face. Of course, we are subject to the government's safe distancing restrictions. And as long as those restrictions are in effect, we must adhere to them. So that means that larger courses, with more than 50 students, have to go online for now and have to be taught online. But smaller courses, courses with 50 or fewer students, are able to meet face to face. So that's the current situation. But hopefully the public health situation in Singapore will improve even more. And as that happens, the government's safe distancing restrictions should be further lightened, and we'll see more larger courses be shifted back into the classroom. So that's what I hope to see in the future. but we currently do have quite a number of courses that are smaller, that is less than 50 students or less, that are meeting face to face right now.
Thanks, Prof. Luco. We also have quite a popular question, and that is, how is NTU Humanities different from NUS FASS? Prof. Luco, back to you.
Sure, it's always a popular question, and it's a very understandable one. So I think it really depends on the research interests of the faculty, because professors teach based on their expertise, and their expertise is the area that they specialize in for their research and their scholarship. And NTU and NUS, although both universities offer a comprehensive university education in more or less the same subjects, philosophy, history, etc. Even within these subjects, there's a lot of diversity in possible research pursuits. So what you may find is that in NTU's Chinese studies discipline, the focus of courses is a little bit different than what you might find at NUS. And that's mainly due to the research interests of the faculty. So if you have a particular subject that you're interested in studying and you want to compare and contrast between NTU and NUS, I would suggest going to the websites of the subjects in each university, looking at the courses offered, looking at the faculty pages and seeing what their research interests are, and perhaps sending an email to, say, the head of the department or the head of the subject area, and just asking them what they think the particular character of the discipline at the university is. So just to give you an example from philosophy, because I'm from philosophy, NTU philosophy provides, again, a comprehensive education in philosophy. We offer courses in all areas of philosophy, but our faculty happen to be interested primarily in ethics, the philosophy of science, and Chinese studies. And it just so happens that most of our faculty members are especially interested in those areas. And so you'll find a lot of courses offered in those areas. Now, NUS philosophy has a bit of a different slant. That's entirely normal. Every department in every university has a bit of a different personality, a bit of a different character, if you will. So I would just suggest you explore it for yourself and see which is the better fit for you.
Thanks, Prof. Luco. I would also like to get a perspective of a student, preferably, and that is Adli. Would you like to share your opinion?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure. How I answer this question is basically what a lot of like prospective students ask me, like, oh, why do you choose NTU over NUS? This is like the major question every student will ask me, like, especially when they're in GEC, you know, because, like, you know, so why I chose to do my course of study in NTU was because I got offered both from NUS and NTU. But I felt that when I was in, if the NUS program, right, the NUS program, they allow you to take a whole few semesters actually to explore what you want to do. Meaning that you don't have a specific line of study, meaning you can explore from communications to social work and social sciences, or even literature for that matter. And this will then be, this will not be accounted in your first semester grade. because then after you see the grade, and then you are able to choose what you're more proficient in, and then you might want to pursue that. But for me, I felt I knew that what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to take English. I wanted to pursue English as a degree, and NTU offers a variety of research areas and specific modules that really pick to my interest, and that will contribute to what I want to learn and get out of my university experience. So for example, in English, right, we study, it's very comprehensive in a sense where we get to study text and English programs based on centuries, spaces, as well as special interests. And we even, there's even special interests for like modules related to countries. For example, there's Scottish literature, and really interesting special interest modules like film and literature, as well as gender and sexuality, which is something that I really enjoy and I really want to learn. And that contributes to the factor why I chose NTU over NUS, because I knew what I wanted to do, and I felt and I knew that NTU was able to provide me with all of these things that would shape my university experience.
Thank you so much, Adi. Now let's move on to another question. I think this one is also very popular, and it's career related, and that is apart from being a teacher, what other jobs are available to us if we have an English or linguistics or basically a humanities degree? Prof. Luco, do you want to take the question?
Of course, it's a great question, and I'm glad it was asked. And I'm pleased to inform you that graduates from our humanities program go on to successful careers in a broad variety of industries, not limited to teaching, although teaching, of course, is a noble pursuit. But we have students, for example, who graduate from the English program, who go on to work in public administration and defense, in advertising and market research, in information and communication, in finance and banking, and in other a number of other areas. So you will have actually a better idea of the different possibilities for future career paths if you join one of the virtual sessions for the specific disciplines, but the general picture is the same for all the humanities disciplines. Graduates go into a broad variety of industries, even industries that you wouldn't normally associate with the humanities, like banking and finance and entrepreneurship and so on. And that's just a reflection of the fact that humanities education teaches students valuable skills that are transferable across many different lines of work.
Thanks, Prof. Luco. And yes, on that note, there is another session that you can actually tune in to find out more, and you will see my face again. And that is happening at 2 p.m. It's the panel with the alumni. It's called The Value of an NTU Humanities degree, okay? And this is where our alumni from different fields will actually come in. There is one from clean energy, and they will basically share skills on how skills that they have picked up in school here in NTU and with their humanities degree, and how they are very transferable and actually help further them in their careers. So it's one to watch. So do come tune in, and that is at 2 p.m. Okay, so we have another question, and that is how many internships can I apply? Now, Bern, do you want to take this question?
Oh, sure. Thanks, Nicole. So there is really no number as to how many internships you can take as an undergrad here at the School of Humanities. And also to inform you guys, prospective students, is that coming August 2021, as long as you enter this coming August, there will be made, internships will be made compulsory as part of your university, I guess, degree program here, so to speak. And I guess how many really, it really depends on every individual. Aside from, the compulsory internship component that is going to be part of your degree program for us currently year threes is a little bit different from, you guys who are coming in. We have what this program called the Humanities Professional Attachment Program. So it's a 10-week program that for the year threes, this was our curriculum. And yeah, we can apply to do an internship and then use it as part of our academic curriculum. Personally for me, I have already done, I think maybe 2 to 3 internships in my undergrad career. So for university students, with regards to internships, usually most of us would do it during the summer break because the summer break is between maybe April to the next August when you come again for the next year of academic studies. Yeah. And that's when most undergrads do our internship. So it really depends on how you plan your time and when you want to do an internship. There are many different kinds of internships, like part-time internships, remote internships, and full-time internships, which most undergraduates do, like I said, during summer. Personally, for me, I think as I was invited onto this panel, I was also invited to share my internship experience. And I think my most memorable internship experience was the one that I've done actually during the semester, which was the previous semester. And it was done remotely, totally remotely online. And it was with the National Youth Council's Asia Exposure Program. So I was attached to this Indonesian nonprofit organization that specializes a lot in environmental behavioral change and educating the public about environment issues as well as health issues. So my role there, I think linking to the previous question that was posed to, I guess, Prof. Luco, about the different career prospects of an undergraduate here at the humanities, I was actually doing human resource. So it's something that's not very conventional of an art student. I was doing the function of human resource and a little bit of finance along the way. Yeah, so I was the only human resource intern, and yeah, my linguistics degree has really prepared me surprisingly well for this role because as part of this very, very rapidly growing organization, I got to interact with individuals from all over the world because there are different projects happening in different countries like the Philippines, Vietnam, and the organization is actually listed as one of the UN's volunteer opportunities. So it's really a very international and dynamic environment. But I would say my linguistics degree has really prepared me for that role really well because I got to really exercise intercultural communication skills that I've learned through my humanities degree here in NTU. And I guess there are many different career opportunities that would have many different elements from humanities degrees that you can really apply into real life that, yeah, are very, very relevant in the 21st century, like what Prof. Luco has said. And yes, please do attend the 2 p.m. talk because it's very interesting as to how our seniors have gone on to different industries and to see and to hear the different stories about how they have gotten there. So I hope that answers the question. Thanks, and Nicole.
Thank you, Bernadette. It was so comprehensive. Thank you so much. Now, with that being said, we have one final question, and this is very important. And that is, how do I apply into the NTU School of Humanities? Okay, I'm looking there because my answer is there, so don't mind me. First of all, go to admissions.ntu.edu.sg, okay? And secondly, click undergraduate. And lastly, find apply now. The apply now button, it's the red color on the right, and you can apply away, okay? And of course, we are coming to the end of the panel session. Thank you very much to all of our lovely panelists who have given such comprehensive questions to your answers. And yes, thank you to all the participants who are here currently in this Zoom session, and I hope you have enjoyed this. If you have any more questions about the double major program, do check with us via the live chat app on the open house SOH's microsite, or you can sign up for one of our virtual interactive sessions between 22nd of Feb to 26th of Feb, okay? And the schedule is available on the open house SOH microsite. Once again, thank you very much for joining this session. Have a great day. And of course, all the best to your admissions and all the best to your application to NTU, hopefully. And we are rooting for you. Bye-bye.
Good luck. Bye.